So January has a way of taking the most promising of simple concepts and turning them into a mess of fucking shit. Thank goodness January is almost over. It's not over quite soon enough. Architect Vincent Stevens tempts 4 of his friends to secretly conspire to share a penthouse loft in the city where they can indulge in their deepest fantasies. However, the fantasy becomes a nightmare when they discover the dead body of an unknown woman in the loft and realize one of the group must be involved. Paranoia seizes them as everyone begins to suspect one another while their history is hashed out via police interrogation, laying out their sordid seeds of deceit. Friendships are tested, loyalties are questioned, and marriages crumble as the group is consumed by fear, suspicion, and murder, as the true depth of betrayal is unwoven amidst their salacious secrets. Okay, so I really do love me at least a decent erotic thriller. I grew up in the 90s watching late night Showtime on Saturday nights and just enjoying these types of movies. They might be great, they might not be extremely well written, might not be any kind of masterpiece, but there are a few things that you go ahead and you can satisfy an audience with an erotic thriller if that's their type of thing. And I went into this film just like it seemed like that type of film, something that's maybe kind of hot and steamy a little bit, and has wrapped up in a sort of noir type of mystery and everything. And I should have known better because it's fucking January, and this is a film that was made previously. It was a Dutch language Belgian film that was made a couple years ago, and then they kind of remade it again in the Netherlands. And now we got this version, which was shot in the summer of 2011. So it's been kind of floating around there for around 3 years. And you should know better going into a film like this. That is not going to be that fucking good because it floated around from big names like Warner Brothers and Universal Pictures as distributors, and a couple months ago it just fell into the hands of Open Road Films, and they dumped it out in January, and good for them, because this isn't a very good movie. I didn't enjoy this movie. I have a lot of problems with this movie. Obviously, if I didn't like it, there's a lot of problems. And the problems with this film are easy to pinpoint here because, first off, the structure of this film. I gotta say, this film probably thinks it's The Usual Suspects. With all its story told in flashback and flash forward and all this kind of stuff, it's trying to do all this kind of stuff that's really kind of smart and mysterious and trying to add in this web of mystery and deceit and everything. This is not The Usual Suspects, okay? Not by a long shot is it anywhere that sharp and keen and intelligent of a fucking thriller. This movie's not that good. Not at all. It's not very well written. And like I said, I can enjoy a erotic thriller. It's not a fantastically well written thing, but damn it, this movie just didn't get me from the start. Just from the start of it, it started losing me from like the first scene of this movie because it started out in a police interrogation. Man, this lost me right from the beginning. It's not even setting up this film in an intriguing type of way. It's setting it up right from the beginning as like a police procedural cop show. And that's a lot of the feeling I got from this film. I've got so many things from this film that were not what this film probably intended an audience to get from it. And it started out as feeling like if this was an episode of like Law and Order SVU or something like that, it'd probably work okay in that type of style that you have your established cop characters that you've known for all these years throughout the whole series, and then you're getting this crime sort of deconstructed through flashbacks and everything. These characters are just kind of there for the one episode. You know how to get that invested in them. This film just kind of got off on the wrong foot right from the beginning of the film, and it just kept going off on the wrong foot time and time and time and time again with the structure it was going for, having these characters sit in an interrogation room and tell all this story through this poorly paced, poorly structured flashback of exposition and setup and everything.
This is a film that never really gets any momentum going because it is meshing all the first and second act stuff all together through it for about 80% of the runtime, because you're getting, after the crime has happened, they're sitting in the police interrogation room, then they're talking about how everything got to this point. There's like flashbacks within flashbacks in this film because they're talking about how everything happened earlier that day, and then we're flashing back to a year ago and moving up to the point in time where they're this morning of the whole thing. It's just a film that is not well structured in any type of way. That once we get to like something that's like in that day, that morning, where all this stuff is unfolding, and there's the dead body in the loft and all this kind of stuff, and this mystery's trying to gain up some steam. You go to another flashback that lasts about between 5 and 10 minutes, which is all set up and all this character development, and it kills all the momentum the film has, and then it goes back to this more present day scene for about a minute or two, and then goes back and then kills all its momentum again. And one of the things that really just didn't get me with the film is that, again, it's all structural. That the whole film is injecting you right into the aftermath of what their actual plot of the film is. So you don't get any character setup. You don't know who these guys are. You don't get any time to understand who these guys are. Getting sort of distinctive character with these guys. And then once it gets to that point where it's trying to set up characters, you're so bored by it because you're waiting for it to go back to the point where it's trying to build up some momentum with the damn plot. So it's like it's all backwards. It's all backfiring on itself. That at the beginning of the film, you want to get invested in the characters, but instead it's getting you invested in the plot of the film. Then once it flashes back to the point where it's dealing with character development and establishing characters, you don't care about that because you want to get the fucking momentum of the story going, which is not going to come back into the fold for another 10 minutes. Some of the cast is alright. I think James Marsden is glowing in this film. He's just absolutely fantastic in this film. I thought he just does a spectacular job with the sort of bland material he's given. Just the material is not very well. Again, it's kind of trite. It's kind of cliched. It's nothing exciting or new with the content that's written into the script. But James Marsden just injects so much saturation of emotion and character with the whole thing that you really latch onto his character as the most sympathetic guy in the whole thing. And as should be very apparent at this point, considering I just did my review of Dread, that I very much am a big fan of Karl Urban. And this film is kind of divided for me, that some moments he really does spark off, and it's like he's perfect in moments. There's certain scenes that just like it plays completely to his strengths, and he's got the charisma, he's got just everything right. But there's other scenes where it doesn't really seem like it plays to his strengths as an actor. That there are certain moments where he's playing the character in a much more sort of shaken, less than confident, sort of bewildered type of state. There's more of a weaker state for the character, and just didn't quite ring true as much as I'd like it to be, to really kind of say that he really did a great job in the role. I just didn't think the material was written to his strengths, and the role was originally cast with Patrick Wilson, which, again, seems like the things that Urban wasn't all that great with, I think Patrick Wilson would have been, but I don't know about all the stuff that Urban was really good at that Patrick Wilson would have been as good at either. So it's that weird type of thing where I can't entirely see either actor doing the best work that this role could have demanded. And, I mean, the film has a lot of good actors in it. Marsden, Karl Urban, Rhona, Mitra, a couple other people that really are better than what this material offers them. That these are actors who could do a lot better jobs in this, do a lot better projects. They're just much stronger scripts, much stronger stuff overall. And there's like this one character in the film, Marty, portrayed by Erik Stonestreet, that just, man, this was the wrong character to put in this film, because it's a character that is comedy. That this is a character that's played for a couple laughs in the film, that he's kind of a goof, that he's not a character that's really serious at all. And any time a moment where they try to paint him in a serious light, it just doesn't convince at all. This is a character that does not belong in this film. He ruins moments of tone for this film. Just in moments, he just blows the damn tone away. It's the wrong character to put in this type of script into this style of film. This is supposed to be a serious, dramatic type of film, and you're throwing in this character who's having just kind of wisecracks or whatnot here and there, just making a little comedic wit and whatnot. Just like it doesn't fit for the style of film that this is, and just got obnoxious at a certain point. Didn't make me hate it, but man, it just could have used without the character at all. Just didn't work, and the actor doesn't really fit with the rest of the cast, and none of it really sorts out overall in that type of way. And again, the film markets itself pretty much as an erotic thriller, kind of talking about temptation and desire and trying to explore your deepest, darkest type of things in this privacy of this loft, everything. This is the softest R-rated film I've ever seen. I had to come home and check, was this film actually an R-rated movie? Because I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. I mean, there's some drug use. There's a little bit of blood. There's no real graphic violence. There's one ass shot in the film. There's really no eroticism in this film. There's no sexy, steamy scenes. No real nudity. This is the softest R-rated film I've ever fucking seen. This is the softest core erotic thriller I've ever seen. This is just doesn't even deliver on that level of an erotic thriller to give you anything erotic. It's supposed to be, it sells itself on this concept, and it doesn't really envelop you in that idea of what it's selling. It's all about a murder mystery. That's all it is. It's not erotic. It's not steamy. It's not seductive. It's not sensual in any type of way. It's got a couple of sexy people in it, right? Sure. But it's all about a murder mystery. It's all told in all this interwoven back and forth, flashback, flash forward type of stuff, flashback within flashback. It didn't strike a chord with me. And I felt that the direction of this film was practically absent. This felt, to me, like a made for basic cable movie. That's how soft this movie comes off as. If you remove that one ass shot, this can play on USA Network without a fucking problem. Without any real edit, aside from maybe a little bit of language that I really barely even picked up on. This is soft. This is not going to satisfy you on an erotic thriller level. It tries to be as smart as it possibly thinks it can be, trying to throw all these little things in here, all this wild web of crap and everything, all these subtleties and all these things that you probably think are going to be red herrings, but they try to tie everything up at the end of the film into this mess of shit that's like, some of it connects, some of it doesn't, and you ultimately don't give a fuck anyway, because the film is just taking all the wrong steps all the way through. Because again, at the beginning of the film, you want to get invested in characters, but it's trying to throw you right into the plot and forget about characters. And once you get involved with the plot, now it's trying to backtrack and fill in the gaps of characters with all these scenes of small talk and witty banter or something like that. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Give me the dramatic momentum of this film, and there's none. Not until the third act, and it's like, if the rest of the film was decent, it was okay, it entertained me, it gave me enough to invest me into the atmosphere of an erotic thriller, the third act would have just been okay. It would have been decent. It would have been decent. But as it is, it just, again, another cliche type of standard fare type of thriller ending and whatnot. It's nothing exceptional. It's nothing great. It's not The Usual Suspects. This is not by a long fucking shot, even though it might think it's smart enough to try to be that type of film. It is not. It's not that well directed. It's not that well written. I just don't think it's well put together in any type of way. Again, a lot of the actors involved with this are capable and deserve a whole lot better than what this film offers. Again, that third act, when things get thriller-esque and there's danger and life and death situations, for a second I considered getting invested. It was like, no. You haven't earned that. You haven't earned that to win me over with that. With a little bit of neo-noir type of lighting and atmosphere and everything, and a little bit of someone wielding a knife and shit like that. No, no, no. You haven't worked hard enough to win me over like that. I'm not putting myself over in that situation. You haven't won me over, and then it's like, the resolution of the film just like, no. I could just poke a couple more holes in this, and it's like, if it's entertaining enough, and it's not as fantastically written as it could be, if you sucked into the film enough and you're enjoying yourself and you're entertained, that you're buying what they're selling, you can just let some of the lesser written qualities of the film just kind of float off in the breeze and not worry about it. But when the film really is really taking the wrong steps every step of the way and not gotten you invested in what's going on and kind of not won you over at all, I'm gonna poke those holes in there, that there are plot holes in this film. Holes in logic, let's say that. I'm not going to say plot holes, but holes in logic when it gets to the end of the film and just like, no. The Loft, don't bother with it. Do not bother with this film. And again, there's no eroticism, there's no real nudity, there's no sexy stuff in the film. It's all this twisting and turning mess of structure and pacing and uninspired writing and a murder mystery that's just not that fascinating or intriguing. Watch an episode of Law and Order SVU. You'll get more enjoyment, more satisfaction out of that. It'll be better written stuff. You'll just get something better out of it, and you can watch it for free on fucking NBC. But, with this in mind, put together a little list of better erotic thriller films you can watch aside from this movie. Some films I've seen, some of them I haven't, but many have come highly acclaimed, and some of them I really enjoy. Such as the William Friedkin movie Jade, Wachowski's Bound with Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, very hot stuff. Last Seduction with Linda Fiorentino is a very good film, hot, steamy, a little bit of film noir styles in there, femme fatale stuff. Al Pacino film Sea of Love, which is kind of okay, it's decent, but there's one fucking hot as hell scene with Ellen Barkin that's just worth seeing the film for, regardless. Poison Ivy with Drew Barrymore, which is nice and hot and steamy too. Right when Drew Barrymore was really steaming hot in films and everything. She was really doing that stuff. Body of fucking Influence with Shannon Weary and Nick Cassavetes. Body of Influence. That's my pinnacle. If you want to talk erotic thrillers, that's my pinnacle. That's the hottest stuff. That's the hottest stuff for me. When I see that movie, it's like, ooh, man, that's burning me up. And no more Shannon Weary action with a couple of the Animal Instincts films. And Body of Evidence with Madonna has all the erotic stuff is fucking sizzling hot. The courtroom drama stuff is boring, watch it paint dry type of stuff. It's not very interesting, but if you want something hot and steamy, these films are more worth your time than this film, because it doesn't even give you that much. This film cannot even make me even convince myself that it was a fucking R-rated movie to begin with, so might as well just make it PG-13 and not even going with an expectation that it'll satisfy on an R-rated level. It's not a good film. I don't think it's very well put together. I'll just go around in circles saying that. It's just not worthwhile. Don't go see it. Go watch any of these other films. You'll have a much better time with some eroticism, some sort of crime thriller type of stuff, some noir type of stuff. Any one of them will really kind of satisfy you on that levels way fucking more than this film did. I checked out this film early on, like in the first 20 minutes, and it never really won me back over. I just kind of like had it ups and downs, but it really just never caught on. Whatever the case, so fucking January. Too many films I've seen this month, and that's only 2. 2 is too many. 1 is too many. Next year, maybe I'll skip January. Let's hope there's nothing coming out next January that I give a living hell about. So I'll be taking a month off from theatrically released films, as far as I can tell from the schedule. Obviously, I'll be producing more retrospective reviews and stuff like that, and other stuff I'm really excited about that I have seen that I know are good films. So, but in March, there are 2 films coming out, both action movies. First one is going to be another Liam Neeson movie. This one called Run All Night, from the director of Unknown and Nonstop, and it looks really pretty damn good. There's a trailer out. Ed Harris plays a mob boss, and Liam Neeson plays a hitman who's got to fucking run for his life and everything, protect his family. Whatever the case, it looks good. And then there's Sean Penn, Idris Elba, and Javier Bardem in The Gunman, directed by the director of the original Taken. This trailer I saw again tonight. Looks fucking great. I just like, yeah, baby. I just saw this trailer a couple times already. I really want to see this movie. It looks really good. One fucking cast is fucking excellent. Just fucking excellent. And just watching the trailer looks really damn good to me. So we'll be taking some time off and getting back in March with some hopefully really damn good action movies to get me back on track. But until then, I'll be getting myself back on track in the comfort of my own home with probably a review of The Guest, which I've got the Blu-ray now. I'll be watching it over this weekend and hopefully getting to a review of that soon. And don't know if how soon I'll get around to reviewing the Jason Statham movie Wild Card, because it's a January release. It's going to be on iTunes, and just might need some more time to recover. I don't know, because it's a remake of a Burt Reynolds film, different from this one, Cold Heat, which I rented, I watched. It's an average, mediocre film. Trailer looks like a beat-for-beat remake of that film, so I don't know if it's really going to be that worthwhile. But anyway, I rambled on long enough. Don't go see The Loft. Watch something else. Stay home. Enjoy yourselves. You got a Super Bowl this weekend for all you American football lovers, so that's enough for most people to just stick around. So I'll take care. You take care. And be back soon. Bye-bye.